Okay, we're back, everybody. So we're just gonna do like a brief like Q&A type of thing. So I'm gonna ask you guys questions and then do whatever happens.
Cool.
All right. So my first question is, what? You guys, where did you start? How did the band start?
Me and Russell actually knew each other from there used to be a venue called Mojo Main on Main Street, and we both played the open mic there. And I was in like a post rock kind of project, and Russell was doing his own solo thing. And just through playing that all the time, we eventually started playing together. We played in one group called Russell K and the Downbeats, and then we were in that for like a year. And then 4 years ago, this month, we started Weekday Warriors, and we've been playing together ever since.
So 4 years ago this month.
This month, yeah.
So it's like your birthday.
It is like our birthday.
Do you guys do anything for it?
No, we're lame. We don't celebrate.
No.
I mean, I drank a bunch of wine.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was like specifically in celebration.
Drinking
I just kind of was like celebrating life, you know.
In general.
So you guys actually have a really unique sound, I have to say.
Thank you.
You know, I've heard a lot of local music, and I really don't know anybody who sounds like you guys.
Nice.
So where did that come from? Like, do you guys all each individually have your own influences, you know, or is it kind of like, talk about that. I mean, like,
I would say that the main part of the sound, like the hip hop aspect of it, would be mostly my I don't know the word I'm looking for. My contribution, I guess.
yeah.
I've always been a huge fan of hip hop music, and I originally would just play acoustic guitar and rap,
Right.
and I always wanted to play with like a band. And when we started playing together, Dan didn't really know that much about hip hop, and I showed him a bunch of stuff, and we had another guy Deej that was in the band who introduced me to a lot of like early '90s hip hop that I just didn't know about because I was fucking 2. So
That's cool, man.
it was, so that's a big thing. Like I listened to a lot of Wu-Tang Clan and
Awesome.
that's probably the biggest influence on me right now. I feel like I listened to them like nonstop for like a year and a half, and now I feel like all of my songs I sound like the like defunct white kid that was in the Wu-Tang Clan.
Roast face killer.
I'm not okay with that. Isaac.
Roast face.
I don't support that.
What about you, Isaac?
I kind of I was a trumpet player in marching band, and I first started playing bass in 2008, and like a rock band. We just kept writing songs and writing songs and writing songs and writing songs. To the point
Did you
where
guys write songs?
Did you guys
wrote
write
a lot
some
of
songs?
There was
How many songs?
we had 2 hours of music without covering any songs, without repeating anything. So there was quite the library. But I mean, it's really an influence of everything: rock, hip hop, metal, progressive, jazz.
And were you in another band before this?
Yeah, I was in a band called Dead Horse Drivers when Russell actually sent me a message because
That's where I have it.
they were looking for a bass player, and so I showed up, rehearsed with them, and we just gelled.
Yeah.
I mean,
We were like, hey, do you want to join the band?
I had played with Russell K and the Downbeats with another band I was in, My Worst Critic. So Russell knew me from Mojo as well, and he just kind of like threw a
So
dart.
Mojo kind of fused. It's like the
Yeah.
marriage here.
Yeah, we
like-
called ourselves Mojo Millionaires for a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, because Russell hosted the open mic, and me and him hosted trivia every Wednesday. And so,
So
we're
we
like,
had the fucking hookup.
we would drink for free.
Oh my
all
God.
Right.
I did not pay for any drinks at that place for like a year and a half. I
No,
swear.
That's a good deal.
Like
we were
every
probably
day of the
partially
week, I would
responsible for
go in and we'd like. Oh my God, it was so bad. We would have them like lining up shots for everybody at the bar. They'd be like, "Hey, you kind of can't really do that." We'd be like, "No, we can line them up." We'd be like, all right. And they would just start
Oh
pouring
my
them.
gosh. That's awesome. So like I've always have a question for every like musician I ever come across. Like it's like a personal thing. When you perform, like I always ask like, who's the person sitting on your shoulder? You know?
I feel like I couldn't drum with someone sitting on my shoulder.
I don't know. It's like, you know, like
Well,
if there's like a little
Shade.
miniature like devil and angel type of thing, but like, you know, like for each person, like there's an inspiration, you know. In general, like is there like one or two like you just like kind of always hang with you, or it's someone you listen to like growing up or something like that who they kind of just are with you a lot when you perform? That's a deep question.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, on my shoulder when we play would be our corgi Ringo. Just this little dog just sitting there, and the muff he barks on beat. I've never heard him not bark on beat. Yeah.
Oh,
The
no
dog
kidding.
that was on the bass drum.
Oh,
the
yeah.
corgi. He's a very musical dog, and like the dog barks on beat. It's fucking crazy. I'll be like playing music and he can't even hear the music and he'll just bark and I'll be like, yo, did y'all guys, the fucking dog is barking on beat again.
Have you ever considered him your fourth member?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
He's my hype man.
There's a skit on the album. We were down the beach last summer, and I was playing hand drums, and there was a couple people playing acoustic guitars, and Russell was rapping, and Russell's doing like a call and response with the dog, and the dog's barking back.
Oh my god!
And like we didn't know.
You guys need to film that. You guys need to film that.
Well,
that's like a viral video.
It's a skit on the album.
Yeah. But we didn't know anyone was recording it. Like after it happened, we found out that we had it, and it was perfect.
Awesome.
It was amazing.
I have one more question, but I want to finish yours and yours. So there's like it could be anybody, anything.
My favorite,
or another musician or something.
I'm a big fan of a drummer called Benny Greb. He's from Germany, and like he
don't know who he is.
No, I feel
Nobody does.
Drummer,
He always does this.
Of course. Like as you were asking the question, it wasn't that I was trying to think of an answer. I was just like, is there anyone that someone would know that I guess Questlove from The Roots was a big inspiration for me, and like. I used to overplay a lot, and I used to be like a very busy drummer, and I still am a very busy drummer. Like, I understand that, but I was like much more so. And so when I like started getting more into hip hop, and I started like listening to a lot more Questlove, I learned more about like the pocket and like break beats and stuff like that. So usually, if I'm trying to like focus on a groove or like I'm just trying to hold the pocket down, I'm usually thinking of Questlove.
That's it.
Yeah.
I want to say like my two people that sit on my shoulder are like my band director from middle school and my band director from high school. Well, it sounds crazy, but like they were like two very different instructors. Like one's very like call you out like right there, point you out, you hit the wrong note, and the other one was like every note has a place, but at the same
everything
time
is perfect.
Well, he'd give you the disappointed dad look versus like the angry dad look. You know, angry dad's yelling at you, you're kind of tuning it out. You're like, yeah, okay. But my band director in high school, he'd give you the disappointed dad. It's like solemn face. He's not mad. He's just talking very quietly. He's like, I just thought so much better of you. And you feel everything flush out of your body. Your soul drops. You don't know what to do anymore. And you just sit in the corner and think about what you did.
Right. Isn't it good to have like a balance like that?
It is good to have a balance.
Like a lot of people don't get that. Like, you know, even musically or in training and anything like that in general, to have someone who's really disciplined and then someone who also lets you experiment, you know.
The yin and the yang.
Yeah, the yin and the
They're
yang.
definitely yin and yang.
So I also wanted to ask you guys kind of like a big scope of do you guys have albums out? Or are you working towards that?
We have a Russell actually posted because of the 4-year anniversary. Russell made a Facebook status and it like listed a bunch of our stats and stuff. And do you remember? I think we have
4 full-length albums, 2 EPs, and a live album.
Wow.
That we've put out in the last 4 years.
Yeah, we record. We have like the stuff to record at our house, and then the studio that we use is called Sound Asylum Studios, and it's based in Gracie's Cafe in Elton, Maryland. And it's literally like 10 minutes from our house.
Yeah.
So we just have so much access to recording equipment, and
That's
we play, and I feel like the way that we write songs, it makes it so that we can write a lot of songs very quickly, and so we are constantly always writing and recording and creating new things.
So who mostly, like, is there like one person who comes up with the music more, or do you guys kind of all three together in the same day?
It depends. I feel like there's a mix. There's some songs that come from like, we'll have like live jam sessions that we'll record, and then we'll like pick parts out, and then we'll kind of like organically like all create a song. But then sometimes, you know, maybe Russell will come up with the song concept and we'll work off of that. You know, I feel like there's a lot of different ways that we create the songs.
Do you hear it sometimes in the difference of your music? Do you hear some that they're like, oh, this is more of like a Russell song, or this is more of like a
on
group
the
song?
recordings? I feel like live, not really, but on the recordings, there's a couple songs that I play piano on, and I feel like those songs sound drastically different than like other songs, and like Russell's recorded some beats, and I feel like they do sound different.
Cool. Where do you guys see yourself going? Like, is there something on the horizon? Is there something? I know that's always like the hard question. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
After you graduate college.
After you graduate college, what's your plan?
Probably back on the couch with a blunt, I think.
Be honest.
What I always tell people is, for the longest point in time in my life, music was always just a hobby for me. You know,
Right.
like I was always very oriented.
It's for a lot
on-
of people.
Yeah,
like,
like
for sure.
on school and stuff like that, and doing other things and like technical careers. And like I was always like my parents were always very supportive of me, but it was always like, you know, this is a thing that you do for fun, but you know you're going to school for engineering or whatever, so you can get a real job. But and so I always never put that much stock into music. But like lately, we have a bunch of friends. Like one of our friends' bands, like they met the president, they met like Obama and stuff like that,
Wow.
and like a couple of our friends are like touring the country, you know, regularly, and they're able
Right.
to quit their jobs and do full-time music, and that's something that for a very long time was not even a consideration in my mind. But now it's coming to a point where
Yeah.
it seems like there are ways to feasibly make a living off of music and stuff, and I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I think that we're all, if there was a way that we could do that, I'm sure that we would do that. You know,
And it isn't
like-
amazing to find a group of people that all are kind of like, because it's so easy to cycle through musicians when you're
Yeah.
going through bands.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can go through like 10 bassists by the
Yeah.
time you find a good one. You know what I'm saying?
We released an album. We just released an album December 16th at Kelly's Logan House called Bungalow, or it was called Uppers, Downers, and All Arounders. But before that, we released an album in October, and it was called Bungalow
strikes.
B-sides. Yeah, I know. And
They
what
said
that
that
was
we've
it was all
never
the
before that.
songs that didn't make it to the album that we had recorded that we
Right.
still like. They were good
It's like a
songs.
B-sides?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And on that, we had every bass player that's ever played for us. We had like 7 different people playing bass. on that
No
album,
kidding.
like that.
That's
Yeah.
cool though.
Yeah, it is. It was neat.
That's cool.
But we definitely had I feel like once we got Isaac, we were like, okay, you know, we're
Right.
good, you know.
I know when you got Isaac, it was like everything's just
Yeah.
perfect.
We put a ring on it real early.
You just
Yeah.
throw that ring on it. Throw that ring on it.
Franchise player.
Okay, well, I'm gonna close up because I mean we could go on for like another like 3 hours just rambling.
Probably.
So let's kind of close this. I think with letting everybody know where they can find you.
Okay.
Yeah.
The best way to keep up with us is through Facebook, and that would be facebook.com/weekdaywwarriors302, like the area code. And then on Instagram, it's Weekday Warriors 23. I'm just saying, maybe we have some international fans.
Hey,
you know,
just
they
post
don't
it out there.
understand,
That's
you
where
know.
it's from.
Those are the best 2 places to reach us. And then
Oh, the other one was Instagram, right?
Instagram, yeah,
Okay.
and that's Weekday Warriors 23. And then we have some upcoming shows. We're doing a really cool benefit for Planned Parenthood at 1984 on February 17th. And like Grace Kuhn is playing at that, and like Worth's playing at that. Our
boy
friend
Diggs
Diggs
Sentences.
Sentences is playing at that. We have shows the 3rd, February 3rd. We're at 1984. February 4th, we're at Rainbow Records. We're doing another Planned Parenthood. The 4th is a Planned Parenthood one. Is the one on the 17th? Is that also?
It's like the coalition against domestic abuse or something
Yeah, it's
like
not.
that.
But
It's another great cause.
Yeah.
They're all so noble.
yeah, we have.
Such a noble band.
And then the 18th we play at Homegrown with Sarah Kuhn.
Oh yeah.
We are doing that.
And then
On the 18th of February?
February, yeah.
What I think I'm gonna do is when we finish this, we'll like maybe have like these links
Okay.
either like under the video or.
Can you do it like the Star
like-
Wars scrolling?
That's what I'm
stuff?
thinking. That's what I'm thinking in my head is like this. Yeah, maybe we
Yeah.
can do that right now. Maybe I'll just use my hands. Like
That would
There
be
you go,
perfect.
right?
Yeah.
There we go. We can do something like that. Anyway, let's close this out. This was a session of Del Sol Live. We're here again with Weekday Warriors, and hopefully we'll be doing more episodes soon. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks for having us.
Wubba lubba dub dub.